why rejection is actually good for you, the reverse psychology behind it. Have you ever felt ignored, rejected, or overlooked, only to realize it wasn't a sign of weakness, but the beginning of something powerful? Today, we're diving into the hidden truth behind rejection. Why it's not proof you're not enough, but actually a sign that you're meeting yourself. What if I told you that every no you've ever faced can be the key to unlocking your greatest potential? Rejection stings. But what if that sting is the universe's way of nudging you towards something far better? This isn't about tricking fate or seeking validation outside yourself. It's about realizing that true power comes from within, and your worth isn't determined by the approval of others. So are you tired of feeling unseen, like you don't matter? It's time to stop chasing attention and start embracing the most important relationship of all, the one with yourself. In this video, we'll uncover 14 powerful strategies that will help you stop seeking validation and start living from a place of true self-love. These aren't just theories. These are real, actionable steps that can change your life today. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. By doing so, you're helping this message reach more people who need to hear it. Now let's turn rejection into your greatest strength. Ready to discover how to meet yourself like never before? Let's get started. You know that ache when someone ignores you? Like your presence is invisible, your worth dismissed without a word? It's painful, and it's natural to want to reach out, to be seen, to fix it. But what if the real power isn't in chasing their attention? What if it's in number one, quietly choosing to ignore them too? Not out of bitterness, but to protect your heart. Because when you stop reacting to being ignored, you stop handing over your power. You begin to value yourself enough to step away from those who don't see your worth. It's a brave act, choosing yourself when it's easier to seek validation from others. And in that choice, you start healing. You start to rebuild a space where your light isn't dimmed by others' silence. You deserve to be noticed, to be valued, but most of all, to value yourself first. No one else can take that away from you unless you let them. Number 2, don't react emotionally. When someone dismisses you, criticizes you, or treats you unfairly, it's easy to feel a rush of emotion, hurt, anger, confusion. Your heart races, your mind spirals, and before you know it, you're caught in the storm of their words and actions. But here's the truth. Reacting emotionally gives away your power. It lets their negativity control your peace, your self-worth, and your day. What if, instead, you learn to breathe through the storm, to hold space for your feelings without letting them rule you, to respond, not react, with calm and clarity? This doesn't mean you don't feel the pain or disappointment. It means you're strong enough to feel it without letting it define you. When you stop reacting emotionally, you protect your heart. You show yourself that your value isn't tied to their treatment. And in that calm, steady space, you create room to choose what really matters. Your peace, your growth, your joy. You deserve that peace. You deserve to walk through life unshaken by the opinions and actions of others. Number 3, remove them from your mind. Letting go isn't just about cutting someone off. It's about reclaiming your mental space, because the most exhausting part of rejection, it's not always what they did. It's how often you replay it in your head. You keep rehearsing the moment they left, the message they didn't send, the silence that said everything. But every time you relive it, you hand them the pen and let them keep writing your story. What if instead you took the pen back, not out of revenge, not to prove a point, but because you deserve peace in your own mind? Removing someone from your thoughts doesn't mean they didn't matter. It means you matter more. It means you're choosing to stop watering a memory that no longer feeds your future. You don't owe your mind to people who walked away. You owe it to yourself to focus forward, on who you're becoming, on what's next, on everything still waiting for you. You don't need closure from them. You need freedom from thinking about them. And that freedom, it's already yours. All you have to do is choose it. Number 4, demonstrate your value. The most powerful response to being overlooked is not to fight for attention. It's to become undeniable. Not to prove them wrong, but to remind yourself just how valuable you already are. Because here's the truth. You were never rejected because you lacked worth. You were just trying to be seen by people who couldn't recognize it. So now, instead of shrinking or questioning yourself, you rise. You focus on becoming the kind of person you admire. You show up fully in your work, your passions, your friendships. You grow, evolve, and expand in ways that have nothing to do with who stayed or who left. You live in such a way that your present speaks louder than your past. Not with arrogance, but with quiet, grounded confidence. The kind that doesn't need to explain itself. Because when you truly know your value, you stop begging to be chosen and start choosing yourself. And that energy? That's magnetic, not to win them back, but to attract what was always meant for you. Number 5, cut off contact. Sometimes the bravest thing you'll ever do is walk away silently. Not to punish them, not to make a scene, but to protect your peace. Cutting off contact isn't about bitterness. It's about boundaries. It's about realizing that staying connected to someone who repeatedly makes you question your worth is a slow form of self-abandonment, and you're done abandoning yourself. When someone shows you, through their silence, neglect, or indifference, that they can live without you, believe them. But also remember, you're not cutting them off out of anger. You're doing it from love, for yourself, because your energy is sacred. Your presence is a gift, and you don't owe anyone access to you just because they once held a role in your story. Letting go isn't weakness, it's wisdom, and sometimes it's the only way to make space for something better to find you. Number 6, prove them wrong. Have you ever been told you couldn't do something, that you weren't strong enough, smart enough, or worthy enough? Maybe it was a comment from someone close to you, a parent, a friend, or even a partner who doubted your potential. That moment hurts, doesn't it? It shakes you to your core. But here's the thing. That doubt is not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of them. And proving them wrong doesn't mean you have something to prove to them. It's about proving something to yourself. The greatest victory isn't about silencing their criticism. It's about showing yourself what you're capable of when you believe in your own power. When you stop listening to the voices that try to shrink you and start listening to the voice that calls you to rise. The beauty of proving them wrong isn't just in the success you achieve, it's in the journey. It's in watching yourself grow, knowing that you were always enough, even when others couldn't see it. So let them doubt, let them question, while you build, rise, and show the world what you're made of. And when you reach the top, remember, it was never about proving them wrong. It was about proving to yourself that you were always worthy. Number 7, go out and have fun. Think about the last time you truly had fun. Not just a quick distraction, but real joy. When you were so caught up in the moment that you forgot to check your phone, forgot about the pressures of life, and just enjoyed being in the here and now. When was the last time you gave yourself permission to just live? Not for anyone else, not for validation, but just for the pure, unfiltered joy of it. For the simple pleasure of being alive. It's easy to get caught up in the serious stuff, the goals, the responsibilities, the expectations. But what if I told you that you're allowed to have fun? You're allowed to step out of the grind and embrace the beauty of life. Because here's the thing, fun isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. When you allow yourself to laugh, to play, to feel carefree, you're giving yourself the gift of freedom. You're reminding yourself that life isn't just about achievements, it's about experiences. Moments that fill you up, make you feel alive, and remind you of the joy in being yourself. So go out, dance, laugh, explore, be present. Take time for yourself, for your happiness, and let it recharge you. When you give yourself permission to have fun, you make space for creativity, connection, and self-love. You let your heart rest, and in doing so, you make room for even more growth. Because life isn't all work, it's meant to be lived. And fun is one of the best ways to remind yourself that you deserve to enjoy the ride. Number 8, build your social status. Imagine waking up every day feeling valued and respected. Not because of what you have, but because of who you are. You've cultivated relationships with people who lift you up, people who see your worth without needing any validation. That's what building your social status is about. It's about creating a circle of connections that reflect your growth, your value, and your authenticity. It's not about popularity or superficial praise. It's about surrounding yourself with those who truly see you and are willing to walk with you as you rise. It's easy to feel small when you're not surrounded by the right people. Maybe you've been in situations where you felt invisible, like your contributions weren't valued, or you were just another face in the crowd. But here's the truth. Your social status isn't determined by how many people know your name. It's determined by the depth of the relationships you build. The people you surround yourself with reflect your own self-worth. So, how do you start? You start by stepping up and aligning yourself with people who match your energy, people who inspire you to be better, people who challenge you, support you, and encourage your dreams. And in turn, you offer the same to them. You build each other up. It's not about trying to fit into a certain group, but about creating a space where you belong, where you feel seen, heard, and understood. Because when you build your social status authentically, you build a life full of meaningful connections. And that's the kind of success that lasts. Number 9, act as if they don't exist. There's something powerful about letting go of the weight of other people's opinions. What if you could wake up tomorrow and not care what others think of you? What if their judgments, their whispers, their criticisms simply didn't matter? It's not about being indifferent or cold-hearted. It's about reclaiming your power. The truth is, when you let someone else's opinion define you, you're giving away pieces of yourself. You're letting their views dictate how you feel, how you see yourself, and ultimately, how you live your life. But what if you decided that their opinion didn't have a seat at your table anymore? When you act as if they don't exist, you're freeing yourself from the need for external validation. You stop reacting to their every word, every look, every expectation. Instead, you create a life that is rooted in your own values, a life that reflects who you are, not who they want you to be. And that's the key to truly feeling empowered. You're no longer tethered to anyone's judgment. You stand tall, unapologetically you, no longer shrinking or molding yourself into someone else's idea of who you should be. Think about it. What would it feel like to walk into a room, confident in yourself, knowing that no one's opinion matters more than your own? To speak your truth, to chase your dreams, to exist freely without fear of rejection or ridicule. That's the kind of freedom that comes when you stop giving power to the wrong people. And that's the kind of peace you deserve. So today, right now, start acting as if they don't exist. And in doing so, you'll discover that the only opinion that truly matters is yours. Number 10. Give them the silent treatment. Have you ever been in a situation where someone's negativity or toxicity just seemed to drain the life out of you? Their words, their presence, their energy, it all felt heavy, and yet you couldn't escape it. But here's something I want you to consider. Silence can be one of the most powerful responses to toxicity. When someone's behavior or words cross a boundary, instead of reacting or defending yourself, what if you gave them the silent treatment? Not as a form of punishment, but as a way of preserving your peace, as a way of saying, you don't get to control my energy anymore. When you give them silence, it's like a mirror. They can no longer project their negativity onto you. They can no longer feed off your emotional response. It's a boundary, not an attack. You refuse to engage in their drama, their toxicity, their low energy. And in that silence, you reclaim your inner peace. You take back your energy, your time, your space. You stop allowing their actions to define how you feel. And that, my friend, is a powerful act of self-love. Think about the last time someone tried to provoke you, tried to pull you into their chaos. Imagine, instead of getting caught up in their drama, you just walked away. Not with anger or frustration, but with a quiet strength. You didn't need to explain yourself. You didn't need to justify your worth. You simply let your silence speak volumes. In the end, the silent treatment isn't about revenge. It's about control. It's about choosing to protect your peace over engaging in conflict. It's about showing them that their opinion, their negativity, doesn't affect you. You're stronger than that. You're better than that. And most importantly, you know your worth. So when the time comes, remember, the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. And in that silence, you'll discover that the people who are truly meant to be in your life will respect you even more, because they'll see that your peace is non-negotiable. 11. Don't beg for attention. When you're met with indifference or silence, it's tempting to try harder, to make more noise, to beg for attention. But here's the truth. That's not where your power lies. Stoicism teaches us that our self-worth should never depend on someone else's approval. When someone ignores you, it's not an invitation to perform louder or more desperately. It's a call to look inward and remind yourself of who you are. Your worth isn't negotiable. It isn't determined by someone else's gaze, their attention, or their validation. It's rooted in you, in your values, in your ability to stand firm in your own self-regard. So when they turn away or look past you, don't chase them. Chase your own growth. Engage in the things that light you up. Pursue your passions. Connect with people who see you. Create a life that makes you proud. One that doesn't need outside validation to feel complete. This isn't about ignoring others. It's about honoring yourself. The more you focus on your own growth, the less their indifference will sting. You'll become so full of your own life that the need for anyone else's approval fades into irrelevance. Instead of begging for their attention, build a life that you love and that needs no audience. Let your confidence come from within, from your own actions, your own journey. This is how you turn rejection into a lesson, an opportunity to fortify your sense of self and deepen your understanding of who you are, outside of what others think. Number 12. Be kind, but emotionally distant. There's a fine line between being compassionate and protecting your emotional well-being. Have you ever found yourself giving so much to someone, caring deeply for them, only to realize they weren't able to give you the same in return? Maybe it was a friend, a partner, or even a family member. The more you gave, the less you got. And eventually, you started to feel drained, unappreciated, invisible. But here's something powerful I want you to consider. You can be kind, but you don't have to give them all of you. You can show compassion without opening your heart wide open. You don't have to be emotionally available to everyone who demands it. Being emotionally distant doesn't mean being cold or indifferent. It means creating boundaries that protect your energy without losing your humanity. You can be there for people, listen to them, offer your support, but you don't have to absorb their emotional baggage. You don't have to make their problems your problems. Think about it this way. When you're always emotionally available, always giving, always caring, you're pouring from an empty cup. And no matter how much you try to give, you'll never be able to fill their needs if you don't take care of your own. You have to protect your emotional space so that you can continue to show up for yourself and for the people who truly deserve your care and attention. Being emotionally distant also means not attaching your worth to how others treat you. It's the realization that their mood or their behavior is not a reflection of who you are. Their emotional state doesn't define your emotional state. You can show up with kindness, with empathy, but you don't have to let their energy dictate your own. And sometimes that emotional distance can create space for real connection. Because when you stop giving away so much of yourself, you make room for healthier, more balanced relationships. You create space for the people who respect your boundaries, who value your energy, and who give back just as much as you give them. So next time someone starts to drain you or pull you into their chaos, remember that kindness doesn't mean sacrificing your peace. You can be kind, but you can also be emotionally distant when it's needed. You can care, but you don't have to carry the weight of everyone else's emotions. Because in the end, protecting your peace is the most loving thing you can do for yourself. Remember, you are worthy, you are enough, and you have everything you need within you. The struggle doesn't define you, the way you rise above it does. You don't have to chase external validation. Your love, power, and peace are within you right now. No more waiting, no more doubting. It's time to step into your full potential, knowing you're worthy of every success, every joy, and every love that comes your way. Number 13. Don't reveal your struggle. We've all had those moments. The ones where we feel like the world is too heavy to carry, where everything feels like it's crumbling, and the weight of our own emotions feels unbearable. You've been there, right? It's a place of pain, uncertainty, and sometimes isolation. But what if I told you that there's power in keeping your struggle to yourself? I know that sounds counterintuitive. After all, we're often told that sharing our struggles, being vulnerable, and asking for help is a sign of strength. And while there's truth in that, there's also strength in holding your pain close to your chest when the time isn't right. You don't have to reveal every battle, every challenge, or every fear you're going through. There's power in processing it privately, on your terms. Here's why. When you reveal your struggle to the wrong people, or in the wrong environment, it can open you up to judgment, pity, or worse, invalidation. It's one thing to share your pain with someone who genuinely cares, who will hold space for you, but it's another to open up to people who may not understand, or worse, use it against you. You don't owe anyone an explanation for what you're going through. You don't need to explain your pain to justify your worth or your emotions. You're allowed to protect the most vulnerable parts of yourself. There's strength in choosing when, where, and how to share your struggles. Sometimes keeping it to yourself is not about hiding or bottling it up, but about preserving your power. When you allow others to see you only when you're ready, you create a sense of self-respect, boundaries, and self-sufficiency. Not revealing your struggle is also an act of self-sovereignty. It's saying, I don't need your permission to feel what I feel. You don't need to explain your journey, your growth, or your healing process to anyone. You're allowed to move through life at your own pace, without seeking validation from others. There's strength in knowing that you can endure, grow, and heal in silence if that's what you need. Sometimes, healing is a solitary journey, and that's okay. You can show up for yourself first before anyone else. Think about it. When you choose not to reveal your struggle, you hold on to your dignity. You refuse to let anyone define your experience, your worth, or your pain. You're not asking for sympathy. You're not seeking attention. You're simply moving through life on your own terms. And there's an incredible peace in that. So the next time you find yourself in a moment of struggle, ask yourself, is this my moment to share, or is this my moment to keep this to myself? Trust yourself to know the answer. Protect your energy. Honor your journey. And remember, you don't have to reveal your struggle to prove your strength. Number 14. Let rejection teach you radical self-respect. Rejection can feel like a door slammed in your face, but what if it's actually a signal? A sign that it's time to honor yourself in a way you haven't before. Most of us spend so much time trying to prove our worth to others, chasing approval, bending ourselves into shapes that don't fit, begging for validation that feels just out of reach. But every rejection is an opportunity to say, no more. No more shrinking. No more sacrificing your peace to make someone else comfortable. No more lowering your standards just to be seen or accepted. Radical self-respect means choosing yourself first, even when it hurts. It means setting boundaries that protect your heart, even if others don't understand or approve. It's standing firm in who you are, not who you think they want you to be. When you face rejection, don't rush to fix it. Don't chase after it. Let it be a powerful teacher. Let it remind you that your value isn't tied to anyone else's opinion or acceptance. This kind of respect changes everything. It rewires your relationship with rejection, from something painful to something empowering. When you respect yourself deeply, rejection loses its power to wound. Instead, it becomes a signpost pointing you toward people, places, and opportunities that do honor your worth. It clears space for connections that are genuine, for success that feels true, and for love that's real. So when rejection comes, don't run from it or numb it out. Lean into it with courage. Let it awaken your self-respect, your strength, your unwavering belief that you deserve nothing less than what truly honors you. Because the most important approval you will ever need is your own. Rejection isn't a reflection of your worth. It's an invitation to raise your standards and choose yourself. When you learn to respect your own value, you stop chasing validation and start living authentically. If you're ready to stop chasing approval and start owning your worth, hit that like button. Drop a comment below telling us the moment you stopped seeking validation from others. Let's inspire each other to break free from the cycle of rejection and rise stronger. And don't forget to share this with someone who needs to hear this today. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video for more.